them.
The liberation of mutant kind has begun.
Welcome to the future.
Who's this clown?
Not clown, Joker.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Nobody tampers with the equipment except Tony Stark.
Good idea.
United, the Avengers are strong.
Hawkeye, hands off.
Fool! Have you forgotten my invincible magnetic power?
Not this time, Magneto.
My mutant brain senses danger.
Something unseen is slowly spreading its poison, edging tempers.
Think carefully before you do this.
You filthy criminals.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You unlock this door with the...
What up, comic fam? He's here. He's alive. It's Jim from Two Fat Guys Pull List. I made it. Sorry, guys. Father's Day. Hanging out, chilling, and then got caught in traffic. But we're here. We're here, and I'm going to talk about some books. Just letting you know now, I didn't hit up my last 2 books, unfortunately, which sucks because I was behind on the last 2 books, which kind of stinks. So I'm behind even more. So we won't be hitting up Ultimate Black Panther, Ultimate Black Panther, and Ultimate X-Men. I am still behind, so oops. But we'll get there. At some point, I will get there. But I am going to be talking about some other cool books, and I'll be interested. I don't know what my pick of the week is, but we'll get there. We'll definitely get there. But before we start the extremely late show, I'm going to talk about our show sponsor, which is Collected Comics and Games. That is the comic book store that started it all in the DFW area for this show. For both me and Nate obviously will not be here. His computer is still in jail. It is not working, but hopefully we can get him up running and soon. You know what? My lights aren't on, so I'm just in a total snafu right now. So let's get that going. And boom. There we go. Now we've set the vibe. Anyway, Collected. It's a great store. It's got 2 locations. Ron and Brent have 2 locations in the DFW area. One in Fort Worth and one in Hearst. The one in Fort Worth is where I would go. It's Ron's store, and him and Ron and Brent have both curated an amazing collection of new comics, back issues, collected editions, hardcovers, omnibus, action figures, models, Gundam models, trading cards, Magic the Gathering, Pokemon cards. I mean, you name it. D&D, Warhammer, posters, even plushies. They got it all over at Collected. And so if you're ever in the DFW area, go check them out. If you're not, go check out their website, staycollected.com. We can get all that stuff I talked about, even store exclusive covers. It's amazing stuff. They're really cool. So go check them out. Yeah, we can talk about our sub goals giveaways, but you guys know what we're giving away. We're giving away slabs when we hit certain goals. We're trying to get 1,250 subscribers. When we do, we're giving away an Uncanny X-Men from 2019, #1, signed by Jim Chung, the cover artist. And it is also a CGC grade 9.8. Here we go. We're giving this away. So, if you're not already subbed, hit the sub button, ring the bell. You know what to do. Give away slabs at sub goals. All right. Let's talk about today's or this week's comics. It was a good one. I did enjoy the ones that I did get to read, the ones that I got to. And I'm just gonna on the fly pick what my pick of the week is. I think everything will come to me as I talk about them. But it's gonna be a quick show just because it was kind of a short week, a little bit. Let's talk about Transformers issue number 21 from Daniel Warren Johnson and Jorge Corona. This was fantastic. I feel like we're really starting to flush out and get to a good spot. We've been in a good spot with Transformers, but I feel like we're building to something epic. So I can't wait to see what we actually do here. But there's a lot of storylines kind of converging towards what it feels like Optimus. you know, he's just dealing with a lot of stuff. He's got Autobots and Cybertron who feel abandoned by him, who it would appear they're going to, you know, some kind of reckoning towards Optimus, I think. They're not happy with him. So we'll see where that goes. So there was that, and then we have Megatron, you know, doing his thing, getting his troops ready, and really getting things set up for a big battle between him, you know, between the Decepticons and the Autobots, you know, typical stuff. But it's building, it's crescendo, it's getting to a crescendo, and I think there's going to be some a little bit of food in there, some finality, which I think will be pretty cool. So overall, I liked the issue. Again, Jorge Corona is just killing it on the art. It's amazing artwork. And Daniel Warren Johnson, I think, is telling a really awesome story. So we'll see where it goes, how it ends, and we'll see, you know, how long, you know, DWJ is going to be on the book. And I'm going to be sad when I see him go, but he's telling a great story. Had a lot of fun with this issue. I kind of liked seeing Optimus finally get rid of the arm, you know, Megatron's arm, and get it off him, because it was impacting his decision making, which I thought was really cool. So, you know, overall, I thought the issue was fantastic. I had a good time with it. Let me bring this down just so I feel like we're a little too high. Sorry. There we go. That's better. Yeah, I thought it was a good issue. I had fun with it. I don't want this book to go anywhere, if I'm being honest. All right, jumping over to DC, we have Absolute Batman issue number 9. A new story starts here. Definitely. I mean, it's definitely a continuation of what we've been doing in the arcs, but we've got this, you know, technically new story arc with Bane. I felt like the setup for the issue was perfectly fine. But once we got into the nitty gritty of it, and we got, you know, Bane showed up and did his thing, I thought that was cool. I really, you know, I talked about this with Blaine when he was on the show, and we were talking about how it just felt like we were doing a very like grotesque version of the Batman villains of the Rogues Gallery. And I definitely enjoy that. And it felt like that in this issue. What I really liked was the surprise at the end of it, which was essentially, you know, Batman's kind of like, man, you know, this is how tough you are, all juiced up on this stuff. And he's like, dude, I haven't even started. And that last panel reveal of him actually turning on the Venom and, you know, getting all grotesquely huge, I thought was really cool. I thought that was a really cool play by Snyder and just his like storytelling. I thought that was really neat. I thought that was cool. You know, there's this assumption that Bane's already hyped up on the Venom because of his size, and nope, the dude's just that big. So I really liked that. I thought that was cool, and he felt this version of Bane. Again, I haven't read a lot of Batman. I don't think I've ever read a story where Bane's in it in our current, you know, comic book journey. But I liked how tactful he was in the book. I thought he was really, you know, tactful, agile, quick, witty. It was really cool. It wasn't just this, you know, hunk of muscle that was just beating up Batman. Like, he was, you know, hitting pressure points and making his arms go numb and his legs go numb. And I don't know, I really enjoyed that. I thought when he got introduced, what up, Joe? I liked it. I thought it was really fun, and I had a really good time with Absolute Batman. I know I said on the live or the New Comic Day video that I was a little worried that this was starting to get into my silly goose time, which is, there's nothing wrong with that category of my pool. But you know, as for the Absolute books, I've been enjoying the hell out of them outside of like Green Lantern, and I didn't really want Batman to kind of fall to the wayside that I have kind of given up on Green Lantern. And I'm sorry if, you know, if that's your favorite Absolute book, you have every right for that to be, but like right now it's just not hitting for me. So I was a little worried for Batman, but I think it kind of picked up a little bit with the story arc. Felt like the pacing and the timing was really good, and I don't know, overall I really enjoyed it. Best issue on Absolute Batman so far, 100%. I think, again, Joe, I don't know how you feel, but I think the Bane of the book was I was very encouraged with how the direction they're going with him. You know, it kind of felt like a Christopher Nolan take, where he's much more intelligent and did I see the Dick Grayson cameo? I must have missed it. It flew over my head. I'll have to go back and read it again to find it. But it definitely flew over my head. But overall, I liked the issue. I thought it was a really fun issue. So I actually kind of can't wait for the next one. Can't wait for number 10. I'm interested to see where it goes. All right, let's jump over to Marvel. We're going to kick it off with Death of the Silver Surfer, issue number 1. Is this my pick of the week? What up, Patty? I liked it. You know, I wish Nate was here to talk about it. But I genuinely liked it. I thought it was fun. I didn't know really what to expect. That being said, sorry, my eyes are like my eyes are just, my allergies are out of control. I don't know what I was expecting from this book. I think I had an expectation of hoping that it was somewhat close to Donnie's vision of Silver Surfer, which I think is incredibly unfair on my part. But I liked it. I liked the take. I liked what we were doing. I loved the mystery of it all. Hardcore. All right. I'll have to go back and read it. That's cool. Patty says, I dig the cover. I love this cover. I liked it. I liked the almost overbearing weight of Surfer and his, I don't know, just his stance. I thought was really good. I thought, you know, this, I wouldn't say remorseful version of Silver Surfer, but just one that is, it felt like he was kind of dedicating his life to, no, Jaden, being redemptive. So I liked that. I liked that a lot. I liked the story. I thought it was cool. Like him just kind of going and saving lives and doing the opposite of what his original purpose was. I thought that was really cool. And then we've got this, you know, y'all correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm making the wrong assumption, but it felt like it was like this version of SHIELD or some kind of organization that maybe that is publicly or privately funded, who are trying to your shop got shorted. I know I got the last copy, but I got into the shop like at 4 that afternoon, so I was really, really happy that I was able to get a copy. I know it's sold out and they're doing second prints and third prints. But overall, I thought it was a great issue. I liked the story. I liked this group or this corporation going and trying to take advantage of superheroes or in this case, aliens. And they're trying to go after Silver Surfer, and now they're going to potentially go after the corpse of Galactus. Like, just the idea, it kind of felt like a Donny Cates story. Like it in the sense of scope and just how grandiose what they're trying to do on the story. I thought was, you know, and it's still kind of shrouded in mystery a little bit. I mean, we're all probably in agreement that the new Surfer is going to be this woman who's part of this corporation. I'm kind of betting that. I mean, maybe not. Hopefully, it's a red herring. Hopefully the title is a red herring. But I kind of get the feeling that it's going to be the woman that is going after him, trying to like steal his powers. Is going to end up being the new Surfer, but remains to be seen. I'm excited for it. I thought the first issue was great. I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to go ahead and say this is my pick of the week.
That's Jim's pick of the week.
I had a good time. With it. I thought it was really fun. And you know, when books do that happens. Do we know if this is Silver Surfer run is the main storyline? I don't know, Joe. I mean, Galactus is dead or perceived as dead in this book, though he's like a frozen like stone corpse in space. So maybe this is like an alternate or a just like a I don't want to say a fake storyline, but just like a out of continuity storyline. I don't know. It's not at least in my mind, or at least when I read it, it was not evident to me that this was current continuity. So don't know if this is in a completely different timeline, if this is like a separate story. I have no idea. It was not made clear. Maybe as we continue to read. I mean, we do know that when in the mainline, Galactus was killed by the Black Winter, and then, or was it Thor that killed him? I can't remember, but I know that he he was part of the Asgardian landscape, or at least his helmet was. So I don't know. Galactus was resurrected at the end of Stan Slott's run, I believe. Okay, so yeah, then I think this is probably out of continuity or just its own thing. I mean, that's kind of how it feels, because I don't remember Galactus being turned into like frozen stone in space. But could be wrong on Fantastic Four. Yeah, I remember I crashed out on Dan Slott's Fantastic Four. So I don't know. I enjoyed this though, so it's my pick of the week. All right, let's give it up. All right. Oh, you know what? Okay, so I know I said on New Comic Book Day that this was going to be a game time decision. I did it. I picked this up. And one issue in, I am pleasantly surprised. Just going to say it. I don't know how everybody else feels about this book, but I was pleasantly surprised with this issue. I just, I didn't know what I was expecting. And I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. We didn't get everybody. We didn't get all of our characters that are involved, or at least on this cover. We started off this book with Winter Soldier, Black Widow, Laura Kinney, and Namor. I believe Sia was also there, but she was like at one panel. She kind of like showed up for a second. So she still hasn't really been, I don't believe, properly introduced into the story. But I was pleasantly surprised with the new Avengers. I had a good time with it. I think getting the group together, getting this misfits, these new Avengers together, I think is going to be fun. I'll be very interested to see how we get Carnage and Amadeus Cho and Sia on the team. I liked it, and we had this. I really liked the issue, or I liked the hook of the story, which is we've got this guy, I think his name was Goblin, or I can't remember the name of the character, but he ended up like cloning evil versions, grotesque versions of the Avengers, and the one that ended the book was Black Bolt. This like just insane version, like baned out version of Black Bolt, just like whispering and blowing up shit. I thought it was really cool. So I am very surprised at this book. It was not on my radar. I think I picked up or initially put it on the list because of the Thunderbolts movie, which I still haven't seen. And so I gave it a shot, and I'm happy that I did. I'm happy that I report back that I'm happy that I picked it up, and I will be picking up an issue 2. I don't know if I'm going to sub to it or if I'm just going to give it the arc. We'll see where issue 2 goes, but I was very surprised at this book. It was very good. Do I need to catch up on One World Under Doom before I read this issue? I brought it up, but I'm behind on the event. No, they do mention it, but it's nothing that's like, it's not detrimental if you haven't been reading One World Under Doom. They bring it up and kind of talk about how the other heroes are busy dealing with that shit, but it's almost like it's just kind of like a mention, and so I'm kind of glad that there isn't a One World Under Doom header on the title, on the cover, because I was pleasantly surprised that this was good. Joe, I kind of recommend it. And if you don't end up liking it, I'll take the hit. But I'm just saying, I think you should check it out. I think it was fun. Hulk Winter Soldier is my top 5 favorite heroes, so I'm 100% reading this. Yeah, it was good. I'll be interested to see how they do Carnage and the Hulk. But this current setup, I was all in. I thought it was great. Speaking of One World Under Doom, we have issue number 5, and this was also masterful. I think again, North is just proving to why I shouldn't have jumped off of his Fantastic Four run. I should have given him a fair shot, and I didn't, and so I apologize for that. One World Under Doom issue 5 was great. We get a conclusion of the Dormammu fight, which was great, and then we actually you know, we're still trying to figure out what is the play. What is Doom doing? How is he pulling this off? What's his end goal? And we get some internal disagreement now that we've kind of defeated Dormammu between the actual Avengers and our world's heroes. While Doom goes and heals up, and of all people, it's Thor. You know, Thor's the one kind of saying like, "Hey, like, should we reconsider this whole Doom thing? Should we really give him a fair shot?" And there's strife, there's disagreement, there's almost fists between the groups, kind of going like, "The fuck are you talking about?" And I thought it was great, you know. And then it almost feels inevitable that this is the new normal. That Doom has everything under control. Obviously, we can't do that because if he's the end all be all, then there will be no more comics because there's no more threat, right? And so for a good part of the issue, we've got, you know, Thor trying to convince everyone that maybe One World Under Doom isn't so bad. It was great. Yeah, Joe, I'm gonna end up reading it like in a collected or hardcover or an omnibus because I just totally fucked up. I didn't pick it up. I thought it was silly, but now I realize that I was terribly wrong. But One World Under Doom issue 5 I thought was great, and then we get Maria Hill showing up at the end saying, "I know a secret," and everyone's like, "Dun dun dun." You know, that's how the issue ends, and we're about to, I think, Doom's argument, Doom's solution, whatever you want to call it, is about to unravel, or at least that's the sense we're getting with this call out from Hill. So I liked the issue. I still felt I'm very confident in the One World Under Doom series, and I'm having a good time. And yeah, Joe, I'm reaping what I sow. I should have continued to read North's Fantastic Four run. So once it's all done, said and done, and collected, whether it's in an omnibus or through different trades, I'm gonna have to just pick it up and read it like all the way through, just because I'm just missing out. I remember the kids not being at the beginning turned you and Nate off. Yeah, what bothered me was it was a little bit of disdain from Dan Slott and him just kind of dissolving the idea of the family, dissolving the idea of Johnny, you know, having a steady girlfriend / potential fiance / wife. I was still bitter about how he treated Franklin and his decision to make Franklin be lonely, and so he made himself a mutant, which I thought was a mutant. So I thought that was kind of, I don't know, it felt lazy, right? So I was still dealing with all that like anger towards Slott. So when I read North, and North was kind of like, we're doing these one shots, you know, each issue is kind of a standalone thing. You know, the lack of Valeria and Franklin being involved, just I still wanted them to be involved, and they weren't. And I just didn't. I think what I needed to do was I needed to just take a break, let North start some stories, and then y'all would have been like, "Yo, you're missing out," and then I could have just been like, "All right, I'm jumping on. I'm just gonna do it," you know. And that's my fault. I feel bad about it. So, but I'm here now, right? Does that count? Does that count for something? All right, Ultimate Black Panther and Ultimate X-Men. I haven't read yet. I didn't get to them. The week got in front of me. So I'll have to read those, and then when the next issues come out, I can review essentially 6 books at once. But I didn't get to them, unfortunately. I do apologize for that, but just haven't gotten to them yet. I'll probably read them right after this because I'm not recording after this. I'm gonna wait for Nate to get his computer up, and hopefully we can film tomorrow. Because, oh nope. Next week there will be a new Comic Book Day video on Tuesday of this week, but then there will be no live shows for a good month because I'm going to be traveling for work for the next week and a half, almost 2 weeks. And then after that, I will be packing up my apartment and we'll be moving into our new house that was been being built and is almost done. So I don't want to, I got to break down this setup and then go build it over at the new house. So we're just going to take about a month break from the live shows and the new Comic Book Day videos. And then hopefully, not hopefully, I'll have everything set up over there. I'll have, you know, the comics behind me. I'll have action figures. You'll see, I mean, the camera will actually be shot long ways like it used to be. And you'll see the arcade cabinet and all my new, I've got a shit ton of new action figures that I've been accumulating that I'll set up on LaFar. It's going to be cool, guys. Just know I'm going to have a kick-ass setup. Right now, I'm just in this little dinky little apartment. Everything, I've just got this little tiny corner. But man, it's going to look cool. It's almost going to look like a hallway of just like when I first started the show, where you could just see down and you could see the arcade cabinet and all the action figures and the comic books. That's all coming back once we get into the new house and I can get set up. So I apologize for not, you know, us not being live for about a month, but once that all gets up and running, I will be here. Hopefully Nate will be here. If he's not because of his computer, then who knows? Maybe we bring Blaine back in while he figures that out, and we can rock and roll hardcore in July. It's gonna be awesome. Joe, let me answer your first question. What's your top 5 Fantastic Four members, including the supporting cast? Well, number 1, I'm not even going to start at 5. I'm going to start at number 1 as She-Hulk. Duh. Probably Spider-Man, Wolverine, was Space Ghost, or not Space Ghost, what am I talking about? Space Ghost. Was Ghost Rider ever a Fantastic Four? Wasn't there a series, I feel like it was during Empire, where like there were a ton of people that ended up becoming the Fantastic Four because they were dealing with shit in Empire. But that right now, that's my 3, at least my 3. So, but She-Hulk, like all the way. There's actually a She-Hulk Fantastic Four figure coming out that I have to get my hands on, I believe in August. So I'll be doing that. Does it hurt the channel if you don't post anything for long, like maybe the algorithm? Yes and no. It's so weird. I mean, obviously they want content, and ours isn't really that evergreen. I mean, you can go back and watch past stuff, but yeah, I mean, we have to take a break. Like I'm going to be literally traveling across the country for 2 weeks for my job. And then when I get back, we have to like completely pack up the apartment and then move, 30 minutes that way, 30 minutes from the apartment over into the new house. But once everything's set, once everything is, again, like I'm not in this like little dinky apartment and I have my own office and I have this, it's going to be, trust me, it's going to be cool. Like I haven't even, since we moved into this apartment, I haven't unpacked like my TV. I haven't unpacked my arcade cabinet. All my comics that were on my wall are literally over here in a big ass plastic comic book box. Like everything is just kind of packed and like hasn't been done. Like I unpacked all this for aesthetics. Obviously I've been curating a Blockies Transformers little collection, and I finally got freaking Ultra Magnus, which is funny because like I was talking to Luby on Instagram, Chris Collects. He's like, I have 3 of these. I was like, it took me forever to get freaking Ultra Magnus, which I feel like is one of the coolest ones. Anyway, so I've been doing like little things like that, but overall, like, my collection has not been, it hasn't been unpacked yet. I actually have been picking up Marvel Legends figures too, with the really cool like retro card stocks as well up here. So there'll be some new action figures up on the wall too that I'm excited to show y'all. I got all the, you'll see. It's gonna be cool. Like I'm gonna invest in another desk and make like a freaking bus of a desk and have both PCs on them. So like the whole thing's gonna look kick-ass. I cannot wait. And then we'll really get into it. So hopefully it'll, Joe says if it helps, I'll go back and watch some of your older episodes to learn what you thought about books before I joined the channel. Hell yeah, dude. I would totally appreciate that. You're going to be like, guys, these guys suck. You're going to watch them and be like, these are horrible. These are horrible takes. If you can unearth our TikTok, or not TikTok, our Twitch shows. That's where the channel originally started, was Twitch. And I think it's still, I don't know if our episode, I think they delete over time, but man, that's where we originally started our channel, was on Twitch. That was a while ago. But yeah, so that's going to do it for this week's new live show of Two Fat Guys Pull List for the week of June 11th. We will, like I said, there will be a new comic book day video that comes out on Tuesday. And next week is actually really stacked. So I have to read all those books before I jump on a plane. It's going to be great. Wednesday night, I'm going to be just like, just reading like crazy. But there won't be a live show for about a month, guys. So I do apologize for that, but trust me, it'll be totally worth it because we'll have a new setup. Everything, hopefully, if not, you will see like things progressing as live shows happen, as we get the J channel back up on the wall and we start sliding old school comics behind me. I cannot wait for it. I feel kind of naked without my original layout. And then we'll probably go switch back to, right now I'm on my DJI camera, but we'll probably switch back to my Sony cameras, my mirrorless, so we'll get a little bit more richer, deeper colors, and a little bit better depth of field, obviously, with that long. It's going to be awesome, guys. I cannot wait. So thanks for sticking with me and sticking with the channel. Hopefully we'll get Nate back on here, and we'll be rocking and rolling in July, like around midway through July. We should be up and running. We need a proof of life that Nate's of soon, or I'm gonna call the police for wellness check. Hey, do it right now, please. I don't know. I'm not in the state. I don't know. I don't know how he's doing right now. No, I do. He's fine. He's actually, hopefully he'll be coming up here in September, so we can go check out a Coheed show. I'm kind of excited about that. They're gonna be playing at Red Rocks, and I'm like, hell yeah, bro. But anyway, it's gonna be fun. All right, guys. As always, be kind to one another and read more comics. We'll talk to you later, comic fam. And I'll see you guys on Tuesday, right around the corner. Later.